Chickens to school. It was night time, and Thomas was trying hard to be a really useful engine. His job was to deliver coal to all the station waiting rooms. He didn't want the passengers to get cold. Thomas knew he had a very important job to do and worked hard all night, steaming quickly along the tracks and through the icy countryside. When Thomas's work was finally done, he puffed slowly into the sheds, looking tired. "I am all puffed out," Thomas said. "I wish I had some help today." "Pa," huffed Gordon, "a really useful engine doesn't need help." Thomas was cross. He wanted to show Gordon that he was a really useful engine too. Just then the Fat Controller arrived at the sheds. "Rosie is busy elsewhere, and I need an engine to do her jobs." "I can do it," Thomas said. He was tired, but he knew this was his chance to prove to Gordon that he was a really useful engine. "Very well, Thomas. You must take some chickens to the market, the sheep to the farm, and the children to school," said the Fat Controller. "That's a big job for a small engine." "You're bound to need some help," said Gordon. "Tank engines don't need help," snapped Thomas. "We're really useful." And off he puffed. Thomas pulled Annie and Clever and some empty trucks along the countryside. "Chickens to market, sheep to farm, children to school," he said to himself. When Thomas arrived at Farmer McColl's farm, the chickens were huddled together on the trackside of the orchard. The farmhands put the chickens into one of the trucks, and off Thomas chuffed towards the valley to collect the sheep. The shepherd was waiting for Thomas, and the sheep were lined up next to the gate. "Come on," Pete Thomas to the sheep. "I'll take you to the farm." The sheep was soon loaded into the next empty truck, and off Thomas chuffed to pick up the school children. The junction signal was red, and Percy was waiting there too. Thomas ground to a halt beside Percy. His axles were aching. Percy could see how tired Thomas looked, and he was worried about his friend. "You look out of puff. Would you like some help?" Percy said. "No, thank you. Really useful engines don't need help," said Thomas, and he chuffed slowly away. He was getting more and more tired as he approached the station, and he started to get confused. "Sheep to market, children to the farm, chickens to school," yawned Thomas. When Thomas arrived at the next station, he was completely out of puff. But the children's smiling faces made him feel happy, before beginning to muffle. The foreman was ready to unload one of Thomas's trucks. Thomas was so muffled that he asked the foreman to unload the sheep instead of the chickens. Thomas left without even realizing, and reached Farmer McColl's farm and told the children it was their stop. So the children got off at Farmer McColl's, and an exhausted Thomas puffed slowly away. When he reached the school station, only the chickens were left, so the chickens were unloaded. After that, Thomas puffed slowly back to the sheds. Meanwhile, the Fat Controller was sitting in his office. He was getting lots of phone calls. He took a call from the farmer's market. The sheep Thomas had unloaded had caused chaos. They had knocked over all the stores, and the fruits and vegetables were everywhere. He took a call from Farmer McColl. The children Thomas had delivered to the farm were covered in straw and surrounded by farm animals. And finally, he took a call from the headmaster of the school, who had a classroom full of chickens. Edward, Percy, and Gordon saw how tired Thomas was as he slowly puffed into the shed. Thomas was looking forward to having a nice long sleep. Just as he was about to close his eyes, the Fat Controller arrived. "Thomas, you have caused confusion and delay," and he explained what had happened. Thomas was very upset. He was very tired, and now he had to do his jobs all over again. "Don't worry, Thomas," assured the Fat Controller. "All you need is some help." "But Gordon said that a really useful engine never needs help," said Thomas. "Ha!" laughed Edward. "I always helping Gordon up the hill." Gordon looked very embarrassed. "Percy and Edward, you will have to help Thomas." "Yes, sir," both engines said. So Percy took the sheep from the market back to the farm. Edward took the chickens from the school to the market, and Thomas collected the children from the farm. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take you to the wrong place, said Thomas. We don't mind, said the children. We had a grand day out, seeing the animals and learning all about the farm. That night, when Thomas finally got to sleep, he dreamt all about sheep and chickens and children.